If you're looking for a marketing tool set for your construction company, whether you're a builder, remodeler, you're a specialty contractor, I've found that HubSpot is a great solution, and I would argue that it's the best solution. Hey, and welcome back to Builder Funnel TV, and in this video we are going to talk about the best marketing software for construction companies. Now, I know what you're thinking, that might be a big claim, and it is, but I'm going to dive into several different criteria and some of our direct experience as to why we think that this is the best software. So the first thing is, how do we define the best? So as I was thinking about this question, because a lot of people ask, hey, I'm looking at these 4 or 5 different pieces of software, like how do I pick, how do I evaluate? And as you guys know, changing software can be a pain, and so you want to kind of pick a horse that's going to be one that you can ride for a while and really build on. So a good fit now, but that you can grow with over time. So I came up with a bunch of different criteria. So the first one is effectiveness. Next one, ease of use. The right features, so it has to have those. Low cost of entry is nice. Everything in one place. Then I also looked at just the power, so how much horsepower does it have? Flexibility, how much are they pumping into R&D? So are they actually improving the software? And then integrations, does it connect with other things that you already use? So that's how I looked at all of these. And what I came up with was HubSpot. Now, we are big partners of HubSpot. We've been partners for about 11 years or so. We use the software for ourselves, and we've now used the software with hundreds of different residential construction companies. So we feel like we've seen a lot, and we can make this claim like, hey, this is a great fit and probably the best fit in terms of being the best marketing software for construction companies. So let's kind of run through some of these criteria and talk about why, so you can feel confident picking the software and moving forward with your marketing. So the first one is effectiveness, and looking at a bunch of stats, there are a few that really stood out. People that use HubSpot got on average 2.1 times more visitors per month within a year of starting to use the software. So more than double the website traffic. So that's a big metric basically. And then in terms of leads, which I think is more powerful, average user got 2.5 times more leads within a year. So again, that's more than double, not quite triple the leads on a monthly basis after using the software. And then 70% of customers saw an increase in their customer conversion rate. So not lead conversion rate, customer conversion rate within a year of using the software. So those are really powerful metrics. And I think when you're evaluating software, you do want it to be easy to use. You want it to be all these things that I'm going to talk about. But the number one thing is it actually going to work? Is it going to be effective for me? HubSpot rates very high on that. And again, we've been using this software for the past 11 years, and we've found that to be the same in terms of traffic growth and lead growth. All right, so the next one is ease of use. Now, this is something that I feel like HubSpot's done a really good job of, is they have made a very powerful, complex tool in terms of what you can do with it, very easy to use. So it's pretty intuitive. All the individual tools within it are pretty straightforward. They have pretty good tutorials if you kind of need some extra help. But I think with a lot of big systems, Salesforce and Marketo and Eloqua and some of these other marketing tools, they have a lot of horsepower, but they're actually just kind of confusing or they're hard to use, and it's not super intuitive. And so I'm big on ease of use, and so I rate HubSpot very highly on that one. The right features. So this was the third criteria. When we talk about features, things that you're going to need as a marketer, you're thinking about, an email tool, a social media tool, a landing page tool to capture leads, powerful analytics tools, keyword research and topic tools. So these are all the features and things that you need, and they have those tools. Those tools are baked in. They also have a whole web platform. And so when you think about, your website and your digital marketing, this one kind of ties into the other criteria, which is all in one place. they have the right tools, but they're all together. And this was what first drew me to HubSpot, again, back in 2010, is as a marketer, I was like, well, I got MailChimp for email, and then I've got Google Analytics for this. I'm using Hootsuite or Buffer for social media. And I couldn't get all the tools to talk to each other. And so all my data was just fragmented. And so when I signed up with HubSpot, everything was together. And I could just bounce from tool to tool within the platform, but then all the data was together. And I could see, oh, this lead came in, they filled out this form, they visited these 4 pages, they opened one of my emails, they clicked on my social media posts. And so you could see all of that in a timeline fashion. And that, I think, is really, really powerful. All right, next one is low cost of entry. And so the other thing I was kind of thinking about with this question is, okay, so there's some great marketing software out there, but maybe it's super, super expensive and you're just not ready for that. HubSpot's done a great job of pushing down some amazing tools to either a free entry point or like a $50 a month entry point. And they get you some pretty good power out of just that nominal startup fee. And then you can grow with them as you grow and as you grow your business and as you grow your marketing program. So you can go from $50 a month to a few $100s a month, and then you can scale past that into the thousands if you need some really advanced stuff. But we find most people start with free or $50 and get into the few $100s or maybe even pushing up to about $1,000 with different suites of tools. But that's a great way to go when you're thinking about software that you want some things now, but you don't need everything, but you know you're going to want that later because it's going to improve some efficiency or effectiveness with your business as you scale. And it would be a total pain to start with something and then switch to something else and then switch to something else. I really like that you can get in at a low price point and then grow with them. All right, so we already talked about all in one place, which is the next criteria I looked at. They've done a great job of basically putting like 19 or something tools just into the marketing side. That doesn't even talk about the CRM and sales side, all into one tool. And again, the big play there is that all of your data is in one place and all the data talks to each other and is connected, and you're not fragmented going around hunting for data in all these different places. The next criteria I looked at is power and kind of like robustness of the tool. So a lot of times, like something that's easy to use and low cost doesn't have a lot of horsepower. And what I like about HubSpot is that it does have a lot of, we'll just say, horsepower or robustness to the tool. And what they're trying to do is there's some really big like web platforms that cost like 50 to 100 grand a year just to have the web platform. And they're pushing all of that kind of power down into stuff that's not at that price point, that's more in the like hundreds of dollars a month price point. And they've done an amazing job of pushing power down into the free price point or the $50 price point. And the reason they're doing that is they want people to adopt them at the entry and then grow with them. So that's part of their strategy. And so they said, well, we got to make our free really, really amazing. And so they just keep pushing power down into the lower levels, which is awesome for us as end customers and consumers because we can basically reap the benefits of all that power, and then we can get more as we scale along. That's a great one. The next one is flexibility. And what I've noticed is that flexibility basically comes in the form of, okay, I'm trying to accomplish this goal. How do I do that? And with HubSpot, I've figured out that more often than not, there's 2 or 3 ways to accomplish the same goal. And what that tells me is that their system is flexible enough that if I'm trying to get from A to Z, say I want this certain automation to happen. If somebody fills out this form, I want these few things to happen and then this to be the end result. Well, I can create different trigger points or I can create different action items to make that happen. And there's usually, like I said, 2 or 3 ways to do that. And you can also customize a lot about it with properties. So those are connected to leads. So you can fill out different pieces of information when you say, take a lead in. You can say, create a property for what neighborhood they're in or what type of project they're in. So you, if you're a different type of company, you can still use HubSpot and say, oh, great, I'm just going to customize project type from kitchen bath addition to roof, windows, and siding. And so you have that flexibility within our construction space to customize the platform to fit exactly your business and what you need in terms of tracking capabilities. All right, so the 8th criteria I looked at was research and development. And in software, a lot of times what you see is there's a big push initially, improve the product, get it up to speed, like get it to a certain point where it's great, and then just like ride it as long as you can, and it kind of starts to decline over time, and they're just trying to maximize profitability. They kind of stop improving it or stop improving it as much. HubSpot, it feels like, has almost doubled down on R&D every year, and I know it hasn't doubled every year, but I looked at their 2020 investment into R&D, and it was just shy of $50 million. Now, being in the residential construction space, there are some tools out there that are more marketing and sales specific to, say, home building or remodeling or contracting. Most of those software companies are not that big, and they're not publicly traded like HubSpot is. So HubSpot is able to pump way more into improving the product than some of these other software companies. And not only are they able to, but they actually are. I went and looked at their financials, and that was, I think it was 49.2 or something like that $1 million pumped into R&D in 2020. And so I've witnessed it. I've been with them for about 10 or 11 years now, and the product where I started and what it looks like today is totally different. It's way better. It's way more powerful. It's easier to use. They continue to work on improving it. And that's been really nice, and that's one of the reasons we've stuck with them for so long is I keep looking around and go, there isn't a better option. I like this option a lot. Plus, they continue to improve and get better. So that one was a big criteria for me. And the final piece of criteria is integrations. So does your marketing software talk to other software that you use and need? And so they have over 660 integrations and counting. That's something that a few years back they made the commitment to saying, hey, we're going to kind of be the hub. We know we're not going to have every single specialized tool. We have a bunch of the core tools. We have a lot of power within our tool set, but there are going to be software companies that do like this piece really, really well. So we just want to connect to them. So you use HubSpot to have all your data and all your analytics and all your core tools. And then if you need some specialized tools, you can connect to those. And so they've done a great job of making sure that you're not really stuck. You know, if you're saying, gosh, I have HubSpot, but I need this critical tool over here, great. There's a good chance you can connect to that, and they're continuing to build out their basically their integration partners and their different connection points with their API. All in all, if you're looking for a marketing tool set for your construction company, whether you're a builder, remodeler, you're a specialty contractor, I've found that HubSpot is a great solution, and I would argue that it's the best solution, and again, because of those 9 criteria that I just ran through. So if you want to learn more about HubSpot, you can go check them out. We'll have some links below where we can give you some more resources, or if you want to have our team kind of do a quick demo for you or show you how we're using it in the residential construction space, definitely take us up on that. We'd love it to show you kind of the back end and some of the analytics and some of the power that you can get. All right, guys, hopefully this was helpful, and we'll see you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.